I want to tell you about a fire that's been burning for more than 350 years. And no, it's not a volcano, not a forest blaze, not even a man-made disaster like Chernobyl or Centralia, Pennsylvania. This one is hidden underground, almost invisible, and yet it almost changed the course of urban history in Germany. Most people in Europe have never even heard of it. You could drive right past without realizing that just beneath your feet, a mountain is still smoldering, as it has since 1668. This is Brennender Berg, the burning mountain, in Saarland, Germany. And if you think it's just a weird natural curiosity, you're missing the secret. The fire shaped the industrial boom of the region, influenced urban planning decisions, and left a legacy still written in the streets and skylines of the nearby cities like Saarbrücken and Völklingen. Let's investigate how an underground coal seam fire can connect to the birth of entire industrial towns, the risk of urban expansion, and even today's debates about land use and sustainability. The story begins in 1668. Somewhere in the coal seams beneath the hills near Duttweiler, close to Saarbrücken, a fire ignited. No one knows exactly how. Maybe careless mining, maybe spontaneous combustion of exposed coal. At first, villagers thought it was a minor event, but weeks later, smoke was still pouring from the ground. The hills crackled with heat, and eventually, the realization came. It wasn't just a fire, it was an underground inferno. For centuries, the fire has continued. Invisible tunnels glowing with embers, small vents breathing out smoke. Goethe himself visited in 1770 and described the scene: the ground warm to the touch, the smell of sulfur, and surreal mix of earth and flame. But why should we, in the 21st century, care about this smoky hillside? Because this fire is more than a freak show. It became a symbol of coal, a reminder of the source buried under Saarland, and coal, more than anything, defined the urbanization of the region. Let's zoom out. Brennender Berg wasn't just a geological oddity, it was a clue to what lay underground. The fire proved that Saarland sat on enormous coal deposits, and in the centuries that followed, coal transformed everything. By the 18th and 19th centuries, the Industrial Revolution was sweeping through Europe. Saarland became one of Germany's coal and steel heartlands. Mines opened, furnaces roared, and with them came workers, housing, and entire new city districts. Saarbrücken grew from a small town into a regional capital, its expansion driven by mining and steel. Völklingen, once just a village, exploded in size when Völklingen Iron Works opened. It became such a monument of industrial power that today it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Smaller towns like Neukirchen and Duttweiler followed the same pattern: coal, industry, urban boom. In short, without coal, these cities would never have grown the way they did. And without the fire at Brennender Berg, the resource might have remained hidden for much longer. So that quiet hillside, still burning today, is indirectly tied to the urban history of an entire region. But coal didn't just bring wealth, it brought problems that urban planners had to solve. Coal seam fires like Brennender Berg were a warning. Cities built near mines faced risks of land instability, air pollution, and fire hazards. Planners in Saarland had to think about where to place housing for miners, how to manage safety, and how to balance explosive urban growth with environmental danger. So key connections to urban planning history are: 1. Non-buildable land. The burning mountain itself could never be urbanized. It became an early example of hazard zones land planners must set aside because it's unsafe. Today, planners face similar issues with floodplains, earthquake faults, or contaminated industrial land. 2. Company housing. Mining companies in Saarland built entire worker colonies. These weren't just houses. They were carefully planned urban districts with layouts designed to be close to mines but far enough from danger zones. And 3. Transportation. To move coal and steel, Saarland cities expanded rail networks, river ports, and later highways. The landscape of urban transport here was shaped by coal's demands. In other words, the burning mountain wasn't just a curiosity, it was part of a planning logic of a coal-driven region. Here's something fascinating. Rather than hiding Brennender Berg as an embarrassment, Saarland turned it into a cultural landmark. By 19th century, it was marketed as a kind of tourist attraction. Writers and poets described it as a natural wonder, and in a way, it became part of the urban identity of Saarland cities. Saarbrücken, Völklingen, Neukirchen, they were cities of fire, smoke, and industry. Brennender Berg was a natural mirror of furnaces, chimneys, and burning coal that defined their skylines. Even today, when coal mining has almost vanished, the burning mountain remains. It's like a living reminder of the region's industrial past. Coal didn't just create factories. It shaped how people moved. Saarland cities became nodes in a dense network of railways carrying coal and steel. Urban growth followed these lines with new districts springing up along tracks and stations. Public transport systems, trams, buses, later S-Bahn trains were designed to serve workers commuting to mines and ironworks. The geography of Saarland's towns still reflects its industrial logic. Compact worker districts, transport lines radiating toward factories, and main roads laid out to serve heavy industry. Brennender Berg, as a symbol of coal, sits right at the root of this transport-driven urban expansion. Without coal, there would be no need for such networks. Without networks, there would be no urban boom. Fast forward to the late 20th century, coal and steel collapsed in Saarland. Mines closed, furnaces went cold, and the cities faced unemployment, shrinkage, and environmental scars. Planners now had to deal with the aftermath: contaminated industrial land, empty worker housing, and shrinking population in once booming towns. Here, Brennender Berg takes on a new meaning. It's not just the fire of growth, it's the fire of decline that refuses to die. It symbolizes how the choices of industrial era still burn under the surface of urban life today. For urban planners, Saarland has become a case study in post-industrial transformation. How to turn steel plants into heritage sites, how to repurpose brownfields, how to reinvent cities after their founding industry disappears. So why does this matter beyond Saarland? Because Brennender Berg connects to a global urban planning theme. Cities often grow on the back of single resources: coal in Saarland, oil in Houston, and gold in Johannesburg. Those resources fuel rapid urban expansion, but also leave long-term risks. Land that can't be built on, health hazards, or eventual decline when the resource runs out. Planners must deal with both sides, harnessing growth while managing risks, and later reinventing cities when the boom ends. Brennender Berg is a metaphor made real. The fire of growth always comes with the smoke of consequence. Next time you walk through a modern European city with its trams and shopping streets, remember that some of them were born out of fire, quite literally. Brennender Berg, still smoldering after 350 years, is more than a curiosity. It's a hidden chapter in urban history, a reminder of how resources shape cities, how hazards guide planners, and how past continues to burn beneath the surface of our urban landscapes. So the question is, if one underground fire could influence the fate of Saarbrücken, Völklingen, and the entire Saarland, what other hidden forces are shaping the cities we live in today?